little story about a place in Connecticut called Norwich. We all know what Norwich means. That's the place where all the crazy people used to hang out. Well, one time they had a place called the Norwich State Hospital where they kept all the crazy people from all over the world. And they were all stationed there just being crazy as always. And then they headed out north. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Well, at the time, we had a governor in the state of Connecticut that decided he wanted to save some money. So he decided he was going to close down this hospital and kick all those crazy people to the curb. Well, he did, and they started traveling north, towards Norwich. Well, they just kept on moving. We didn't know where they came from. We didn't know where they were going.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another hour or so of Crazy People, coming to you from United FM Studios in New London, Connecticut. And, this station not only does podcasts like this, but they also has two radio stations. What's the first one?
United FM Rock and Metal.
And what's the other one?
United FM Radio Jams.
Okay, so when you get sick and tired of listening to all that other shit, all you got to do is turn on my man's radio station.
What was that song playing?
Oh, that's his band.
At the beginning of this broadcast, what was that song?
It's a song called Crazy Man. It was by a band called White Man Down, which originally stood for the initials of the three members in the band. And you wouldn't believe the kind of bullshit we got when we called it White Man Down. Of course, we were racist. We had no sympathy for other cultures, this, that, and all the other kind of crap, which is a bunch of bull. I mean, if you look at the name of some of the bands that are out there, believe me, we were calm. But anyways, that was one of our favorites. That was mixed and recorded by Keith Much of United FM. And it was just something for a bunch of old guys to do. We never expected too much out of it, but it's fun, to do this podcast, and to have one of your songs playing into it and out of it. It's a cool thing. Of course, you can see my Trump hat. It's brand new, right off the printing press. One of many that I will have between now and the election time, in 24. I've already got flags getting ready to go. I got it all. And you know why? Because you, as well as I, know you need that man back. We need him back bad. I mean, if you can't see that, then I don't know. I could say some really nasty things, but I won't right yet. Later on. If you can't see how much we need him, then you're either blind, stupid, or you're looking for our country in our world as we know it to change to something you might think will be better, but it's not going to be better. I mean, you look around the world and you see how many countries have been where we are and then have gone down a different path, socialism, communism, whichever other one you want to go with, and you see how their countries have deteriorated to practically nothing. I mean, Venezuela is a good point. North Korea is another one. I can't say that about China, even though they are very communistic. But at least they know the value of to have an economy. And they know how to keep it going. Hopefully the rest of the world don't follow their way of doing things, because their way of doing things is to get rid of anything that gets in their way. And I'm talking mass killings, mass graves, whatever they don't like, you either get thrown in jail or you get used for body parts. I don't know how many of you know that. They have a huge body part business going in China. They take certain groups of people, they put them in these camps, they work them, and then they also will sell their body parts. People from other countries that have a lot of money. I mean, you don't get these parts for cheap. It's not like not like $9.99. You're talking a lot of money, but they have the money. And China is more than happy to cut somebody open, take out whatever part they need, and if they live, they live for have another body part taken out later, or they die. They don't care. So that's something to think about. That's something you should have been thinking about before we sent people over with the Olympics. Now, I'll probably jump all over the place because that's what I do best. So I just mentioned the Olympics. Okay. This Olympics has probably been the most unwatched Olympics ever. And it had so much politics and whatever else. I mean, you couldn't go to China and speak against the government there if you were there for the Olympics because you probably wouldn't be seen again. You could not wear, this is amazing, you could not wear a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. I mean, if you did, you risked the possibility of being thrown in jail. And I'm not talking about overnight. These folks, when they throw people in jail, you're talking years, if they ever get out. And I've also heard that if you don't have someone bringing you food, you're probably going to starve to death. So this is the wonderful China. This is what some of these people in this country want to see our country go to, this form of government. I'll get into the Ukraine thing later. Now, my idea, and if, by the way, you can call in here. Keith, is the number up?
Yeah.
Okay. Check the number out. You can call if you want. If you call and the line's busy, try again. You can call up with your ideas. You can call up with your complaints. You can call up and tell me I'm an idiot. I don't really care because I'll probably call you on back. And also, you can text into this program because I believe it's on Facebook. What else is it on?
We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on United FM and my personal page.
Yeah. See, just a couple spots. So the Olympics. I have always said that the Olympics should be in a place all its own. Should find a nice island somewhere that can handle big jets, that you can build an economy on, and have it strictly for the Olympics. And you can use it other times for other things. You can have a lot of kind of competition here. Now, people will say, well, they have the Olympics in different places so that those places can make money. But there's a lot of bullshit that comes with that. You have politics get involved. You have people not showing up for one reason or another. If you have a place that people can go, relax, do their Olympic thing, and not have to worry about any other crap, I mean, that place will make tons of money even when it's not Olympic time. So you're going to have to find two spots. You're going to have to find one for the summer, and else, of course, you can get an island that's ideal to where they have mountains and snow. Now, that would be a dream. I really honestly think, and all countries can, participate in building this. So it's not just one country that has ownership of it. Everybody chips in, builds it, and this becomes a place where we have our Olympics. We didn't have Olympics, I don't think, back in the early time where it was all over the world. I think it was basically in one spot, and I don't know what that spot is. So if anybody knows, please contact me. All right, so jumping along here, I got something that's been kind of, I guess I could say upsetting me, and it should upset you too. You notice how we just went through Black History Month, okay? All right. Do you know how many history months and heritage months, that there are? There's at least, what, 8? 8 of them? Right now, as what I've seen looking up stuff, July, August, December, and June, I mean January, July, August, December, and January, that are only months that don't have any kind of history or heritage going on. So I think that we should have 2. I think we should have an American month, and I think we should have a white month, White History Month. Now, right about now, some people are starting to freak out, and you know what? That's okay. You'll get over it. If you don't, then you got thin skin, so there's nothing I can do about that. Just don't get cut because you'll probably bleed to death. But anyways, September is Hispanic Heritage Month. Okay, and I'm not saying this because, I got anything against these people. I'm just saying they got a month. September 15th to October 15th. And then when you move right along to October, you have the LGBTQ plus Heritage Month. All right, so they get their own month. Okay, so move on to November. It's Native American Heritage Month. That one, as far as I'm concerned, is definitely on the top of the list of they should have their own month. Probably maybe 2. Let's see, moving right along to, what do we got now? December, there's none. January, there's none. February is African American Heritage Month. We all know that. March, coming up, is Women's Heritage Month. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to have to take back what I said. Instead of us having 2, we need 3. Okay, and I'll tell you why in a minute. April is Arab American Heritage Month. I didn't even know we had an Arab month. So that's a new one on me. All right. All right, the next one is Asian Pacific Islander American Month. Another one I didn't know we had. You know, it's funny how these last 2 doesn't get the publicity that some of the other ones do. And that kind of makes me wonder, too, why certain ones get so much publicity and others don't. Okay, so back to June. Ooh.
Someone says you're going to need a bodyguard after talking like that.
Well, hey, it's facts. It's truth. What do you mean a bodyguard? If you can't handle the facts, then I don't know what to tell you. How about some of the way you may talk? Maybe you need a bodyguard. All right. And I'm not doing this to... you want to be fair. You want this country to be fair. You want everybody to be equal. Having these kind of months and not having them for other people is not equal. You can't have it both ways. Don't piss me off so early in the show. All right, June, LGBTQ and Pride Month. So actually they get 2. All right. Let's see. Moving right along. July and August has none. And I believe that's it. So... I said that I think we should have, in July, we should have American Month because the 4th of July is when we became a country. And it, it relates to everybody in America, no matter what nationality you are or race you are. Every race that in this country that were here during the wars fought to protect this country. They fought to give other groups the freedom to act like civilized people or to act like idiots. They died, and every one of them people that died were part of your race. How many black Americans died? How many Arabs died? How many Japanese died? Japanese fighting Japanese, and they died for this country. So for other races to say, hey, we deserve more. No, you deserve what everybody else gets, and that's the way it should be. We got to get out of this past. Don't forget it, just get out of it. All right, August should be White Man's Month, I think, for me. December should be Santa Claus Month. And January should be, Man's Month. All right, you got Women's Month. Why not a Man's Month? All right, I think that's fair. I don't know. I don't know what you think. Oh, the only one I didn't see in here was Mexican Month. I wonder if that went under Hispanic, because I know some Hispanics don't like to be called Mexican. But anyways, see, when I talk, I'm talking what a lot of people are thinking. Now, you can think about these things in a bad way, or you can think about them in a realistic way, or you can think about them in a common sense way, because after all, the theme of my show is common sense. And to the person that wrote in about needing a bodyguard, how big are you? You want to be my bodyguard? I'll give you $1 a day. No takers? Okay, so let's move on to something else. What I'm going to do now that I got you going is I'm going to... See, I look at things and I read things, and my memory is so-so because I'm old. So what I do is I put them on a file thing on my phone to talk about at a later date. So tonight, since I really don't have a lot written down that I wanted to talk about, well, actually, I do have a few things I want to talk about. Okay.
He says $1 a day. He says you're tight.
Hey, I was paying the last guy 50 cents. I want to talk real quick. Like I said, I bounce around back and forth. Right now, I'm going to bounce into New London. New London, I've been trying to think of a nickname for New London. If you notice in New London, if you live here, especially if you lived here for some time, and you people that are thinking about coming here should really pay attention. New London does everything in half steps. I got to come up with a nickname that goes like, this is half New London, or half Wayland City, or just, I don't know, something. Because right now, it seems like everything's done in halves. We had the gas company come through some time back. They tore up the roads, they fixed the roads, and they retarred the roads. Half the roads. So a lot of roads you go down in New London are half. The half they read tarred, looks good, feels good. The other half has potholes that you can drive a tank into. And they don't seem to want to fix them. I don't know why. I don't know if they spent all their money on nonprofits or whatever the hell they might have spent their money on, but they're not spending them on the road. It's a good thing we don't pay a lot of taxes in this city. That was a joke. Okay, so now you go down to the high-rise. They tore down half the high-rise. I don't know what they're doing over there. I went and looked yesterday, and I don't see any trucks carrying anything away. I see them digging holes. I see piles of steel and bricks and dirt and everything. I just hope they're not stupid enough to be burying all this stuff in the ground, because that's not going to fly in the long run. So we'll end up paying twice the money. But I could be wrong on that. So if anybody knows what their plans are down there, like maybe a counselor, one of them invisible people we have, or maybe even the mayor. I doubt if he's watching this, but I'm sure he'll hear about it. All right, so we bond $168 million. That's right, folks, $168 million. They tell us we're only going to be on the hook for $32 million. Like that's, like going from $100 to $5. Well, it's not. $32 million is a lot of money, and it's going to take us a long time to pay that off, especially in this town. What I'm talking about is the half of schools. We bonded that money for a brand new high school and a brand new junior high school. We're getting a half a high school, and we don't know what we're going to get with the junior high. Probably another half a school. And then the other schools, the elementary schools, some of the money went to refurbish them to put us in what they call an exclusive magnet school system, which is not so exclusive. I mean, every town around us is getting magnet schools. Now they tell me, well, we'll be the only one that has a whole group of magnet schools that are going to take somebody from kindergarten to graduation. So when that kid goes to kindergarten or first grade, now I know all you parents out there that have young kids know this, so I'm not telling you nothing you don't know, is the little kid says, oh, Mommy, I want to be a fireman. Or I want to be a ballerina. Well, I personally don't want to be a ballerina. I don't know. K-Man might want to be a ballerina, but I don't want to be a ballerina. I want to be a movie actor. I want to be a scientist. I want to be an astronaut, and so on and so on and so on. Now, they put that kid in a grammar school that caters to that type of profession. And with the thought that they'll carry this kid all the way through junior and high school and graduate with a degree in what? Dancing? How about chef? I mean, there's nothing wrong with them kind of professions, but let's be realistic. How many chefs or dancers can you have? How many of them are going to be good enough when they graduate to get a job doing that? It's going to be hard. And instead of having within that magnet school, is which they should have done, but of course we're talking about New London and the state of Connecticut. They're not looking, they're like in some kind of friggin' fantasy world. Like this town is so wrapped up into thinking it's some kind of art mega place. It's not. It's not even close. We have a couple artsy things in this town, and that's all we got. And it's not going to grow, because people leave all the time. You have downtown. You drive through downtown, and there's not a lot going on down there. You had 2 weeks at the Hygienic recently, artsy. Okay. If it wasn't for the God Theater, you probably wouldn't have any artsies at all. But we are not going to turn out to be the capital of Connecticut for arts and entertainment. New London is not. You're going to have to accept that. Whether you want to or not, you're going to have to accept it, because it takes a lot of money to do it. And even our council and our mayor don't put enough money into doing that, so that's another reason it's not going to happen. So when these kids graduate with these different trades, where are they going to go? Is there a college out there they can go to be an astronaut? Is there a college? There's probably colleges for dancing, and there's probably colleges for being a chef. One of the biggest things they did with the new high school was put in this huge section of the school for becoming a chef. I never heard of such a thing. And, when I was in high school many, many, many moons ago, I went from junior high to technical school. I went to Norwich Tech. Went there to be an electrician, and that didn't work out so well for me, so I didn't finish being an electrician. But I still graduated.
How shocking.
I know it. I was the only one in my gang that did. So you would have thought when they were building these magnet schools, instead of being focused on all this out-of-reach stuff for most kids, that they would have put in some shops, they would have put in some kind of, for being a electronics or electrical engineer, big computer thing. I don't know if they have any kind of computer classes in these schools. Or I imagine if, with the way it is now, and we'll stick on computer for a minute, the way it is now, you can go into like Stop and Shop or Walmart's, wherever, and you see a little kid in a basket while the parents are pushing them around, and their thumbs and their eyes are on the phone or on some kind of game, and they're running it like geniuses. So that tells me that should have been one of the major courses in this whole magnet development, is to get these kids and train them all the way through graduation on computers. I mean, you're going to need that in the future. As much as I hate them, and me and Kay have had some conversations about that in the past, that's what you're going to need in the future, more so than you do now. That would have been an ideal class, but no, we don't have that I'm aware of. Let's see, auto, the computer, plumbers, carpenters,
photographers,
everything that you need somebody for that you can't do yourself.
Someone's messaging me privately, so I'm not going to say their name.
No, don't.
He said every elementary school teaches computer skills.
Oh, okay. I know they use them just to learn, but I meant in specific areas.
Hey, you were talking about New London.
Yeah.
You're talking about Bank Street.
Yeah.
Everything on Bank Street and State Street is pulling out.
Oh, I know that.
They're pulling out. They're pulling out like a guy who doesn't want to pay child support.
I guess that's one way to put it.
New London, if you want to be if you want to be homeless because you want to continue your drug and alcohol habits, all right? If you want to come, if all you want to do is be a drunk and not have to pay rent, not have to pay taxes or whatever, okay? It doesn't matter what city in Connecticut you are. New London, Connecticut is the dumping ground for all the surrounding towns.
I can't argue with that.
If you want to be, listen, there's people who are legit people who become homeless that need help. And the Homeless Hospitality Center does a good job at getting them back on their feet.
You can tell.
Anything can make you homeless. Me and Melissa got stuck in a situation. We got an apartment in New London. In Norwich, the other hellhole. Okay, come to find out, it was condemned, and the city kicked us out. They didn't want to put us in a hotel. Norwich is another shithole.
That's a time for another subject.
That's another subject. But for a couple of weeks, we ended up there, and they helped us out. We're legit. Okay, we're in a legit situation. So they helped us out. We ended up where we're at now. But let me tell you something. There is a lot of people who abuse others' compassion because they want to continue their habits and depend on other people for their compassion to put a roof over their head and put food in their mouths. And they want to take all their resources. The individual homeless person wants to take all those resources and use them to maintain their habit. They need to go. They need to go.
Where are they going to go?
Ship them to an island. They can climb trees and eat coconuts. I don't care. New London is getting trashed by this situation. When I can't go to my local convenience store to get a frickin' gallon of milk without being harassed by some person hanging out in front of the store, and I don't have a couple of dollars to give them, so they're gonna come at me with a fist.
You know what gets me?
New London, you have a problem. You have a serious problem.
You know what gets me, Kay, is you'll have people out there that will justify these actions by them. And most of the people that justify these actions are people that don't have any kind of communication or any kind of relationship with these people at all. You're right. There are people who really need the help. There are people that have become homeless due to circumstances beyond their control.
You know what's sad is that places like the SCAD Center, that's a house behind us. Okay, I see what's going on. I'm a scanner buff. I hear what's going on. Okay, 2 to 3 times a week, ambulance and fire respond to the SCAD Center for a ETOH, that means drunk person, or someone who's had so much drugs they need to be taken by ambulance to the hospital. Two to three times a week, ambulance and fire respond to the SCAD Center behind me. That is appalling. This whole system for drugs and alcohol people is they get to continue their habit, and these services get money stuffed into their pockets for doing absolutely nothing. And none of you people will wake up and see this. So pay your taxes, shut up, have a good day, stop complaining. You're feeding this despicable system that's not helping anybody. The only person who can help themselves is them.
Are you done?
No, but okay. Back to Dennis.
That was my K-man speaking, and he speaks a lot of truth. I mean, I don't know where I was before he started, but I'll continue where he was.
You don't pay attention to anything I say.
I'm old, man. The shit goes in one ear and gets stuck. Never comes out the other side.
Listen, I'm into everything. I monitor New London. I hear when and what is going on. I'm very aware of what's around me, and I pay very close attention to it. Somebody has to wake up and see what's going on.
You know what we need?
But you know what? You're hearing me, and I'm just an idiot.
No.
All right? Go watch your football game. Have a good day.
No.
Pay your taxes.
You know what?
Feed the system that's a despicable failure.
You know what I would like to see happen is, first of all, he's definitely right about downtown. There are a lot of places. I mean, pretty soon there ain't going to be anything downtown. When you have the banks bail out, and now you got the newspaper wanting to bail out, I mean, really, what else is left? There isn't much to draw anybody downtown. Except for the bars. And, they build all these apartments. You would think downtown would be flooded with people, and it's not. You know why? Because then people don't want to go downtown. They drive through, they see what it is, and that's it.
Downtown New London is a dump.
We have to do something different. Now, here's an idea. I think it's time, first of all, that we have a city council and a mayor that are going to think and deal with all people, not special group people, not special race people, but all the people in this city that pay taxes in some form of another. I know there's been people that said there's certain people that don't pay any taxes, but every time they buy something, they're paying a tax. It's just not the kind of tax that really helps the city. But there's not much they can do about it, a lot of them. But what we need to do is we need to forget about all this crap about making New London the center for people from out of town to come to, for people with super boats to come to, and all this. Now, you're going to say, well, that will bring the money in. Not necessarily. If we took our taxes and used them to better our city, to take care of our roads, to take care of making it a nicer place for downtown, make it so people aren't paying outrageous amounts of money to live here. Took care of our city first and only. Forget about out-of-state businesses or whatever. Stop with these friggin' tax abatements. If they want to come here, they'll come here. I'm sure these apartment buildings here that they're building would have still come here if there was no tax abatement, because they're coming here for EB. That's what they want. That's where their money is. The tax abatement just makes them make more money. And how much money do they need to make? We've got to start taking care of our own city. We got to have it so when you drive down the road and you go past a pothole, that the tire that went in there first isn't behind you. What?
Those new apartments they built on Bank Street.
Yeah.
Couldn't pay me to live there.
You wouldn't be able to afford to live there. That's another thing I want to talk about.
Who wants? Listen, they built these condos on Bank Street. And they built these little cute little porches on the front. Who would want to live there and hear ambulances nonstop? Fire truck. Well, no. Fire is random. Fire trucks for medical stuff, but the constant wailing of ambulances that go down Bank Street is endless. Okay,
Don't forget the trains.
Oh, train is a train. People like trains.
Do they like to hear them?
No. All right. Then you have these pardon me, these incredible assholes that put these mufflers on their cars that sound like gurgling, shitting go-karts going down the road. Loud mufflers. Then you have the guys with the car stereo systems. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
Okay?
Busting my ears.
Sorry. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? Sit out on your front little tiny 5x5 porch and enjoy the views and the sounds of New London, because that's all you're going to get with your $1,900 a month rental or your condo on Bank Street.
Somebody, let me jump in here. Somebody wrote something on Facebook a little while back, and I kind of think they hit it right on the nose, that it seems to them that what's going on in the city is that they're trying to get rid of low-income families. And one way to do it is when all these new apartments are coming in, and the cheapest one you find for like an efficiency is $1,100 a month, and that doesn't cover your utilities. So you're looking at $1,500 a month. Now, you only have so many low-income housings in this city, probably more than we actually should have, but it is what it is. And I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't for Section 8 for a lot of them, and I'm not putting people that have Section 8 down, don't get me wrong, don't go stupid on me, but if it wasn't for them, a lot of these people wouldn't be able to live in the apartments they're living in now. So you keep building apartments like this in this town, and eventually something bad's going to happen. I mean, where are people that can't afford to live here going to go that are already here? And how do you think that people that can afford to live here are going to come here with all this other garbage going on? It's not going to happen, folks. And eventually, any landlord will come down on their rent if they can't rent their place. So that's another side of it. Maybe low income should wait till these places can't get anybody anymore, and then they'll get a nice looking apartment. I don't know.
It seems like anywhere you have low income housing, there's problems.
Oh, of course there is. You know why? Because I'll tell you, I said a long time ago that the reason you see people in other countries in the street rioting or protesting, and you're seeing hundreds of thousands of people, my thought is they're out there because they don't have a job. They're fighting for something and they don't have a job. If they were working, how many people could be out there protesting?
Listen, I absolutely love listening to the scanner. I absolutely love hearing where all the bullshit's going on. And when I hear calls, when I hear activity on scanner, I look it up on the map. And with Google Maps, it's very, very detailed about what's where. And I noticed that, especially in New London, anywhere you have low-income projects, housing, you've got a lot of crazy shit going on.
Well, I just
thought you should know this.
It's getting to where it happens probably as much sometimes if not more,
But it's
outside.
it's way more concentrated around the low-income housing.
Well-
Coleman Street in New London, there's a part of it that is inundated with low-income housing. I hear on the scanner, I hear everything that's going on. Everything, I hear it. I love listening to the scanner.
Well, if you can hear it on the scanner,
Excuse me.
people from other parts of the area can hear it.
Yeah, if you're smart enough to program a digital scanner.
Well, not even. You can
But-
hear it on Facebook. The other day, someone's talking about they're hearing gunshots on Connecticut Avenue.
Oh, and it's something. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that on Facebook. They're like, "Oh, it was fireworks."
Yeah.
All right.
That was the police. No, I don't know.
And I'm like, who the hell's blowing fireworks off in the middle of a rain? It's raining out. It's raining out. Who's blowing off fireworks in the rain?
Somebody that's trying to say that New London's fine.
Yeah.
All right, let me change the topic here. I want to go a little bit easier now.
Is this your show or my show?
I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Dennis.
Right now, I have on here, check out 10 of Connecticut's most cockamamie laws. Now, this ought to put a smile on your face, I hope. Let me see. Damn it, way to go. Don't do this.
You broke it.
I think I did. Here we go.
Oh, damn. I thought while you were fixing it, I could go back into my rant.
No.
Stay away from your rant. Okay, first of all, Southington, which is in Connecticut, of course you know that, says no to silly string. They don't want no silly string in their town. I don't get it, but that's Stonington. So if you like silly string, do not move
Did you
to
say
Stonington.
Stonington?
Yes,
You said
no,
Southington.
My
Southington.
mistake, Southington. Sorry, Stonington. Okay, so wearing clown costumes to cause an alarm is illegal. And they got some crazy-looking clown suits.
Oh, my God. Listen, a couple of years ago in London on State Street, the cops were chasing somebody in a clown suit.
I don't know. Here's another one. Anyone wearing a freaky clown, the same thing, clown costume to intimidate Connecticut residents can be arrested. So if you scare some little kids, you're going to jail. All right, let's see. This is a stupid one. That's what they mean by cockamamie. Fire trucks cannot exceed 25 miles an hour. So if your house is on fire, you might as well go sit outside, have a barbecue, wait a while, and they'll probably show up.
Get some marshmallows and a very long stick.
In 1977, the city of Meriden enacted a law, 153-7, that stated no person not a member of the police department of the city shall have in his possession or blow upon a whistle. I'm not making this up. Also, no eating in the car. Now, come on. How many of you eat in the car? I've seen people eat huge Whoppers and drive and talk on the phone if they're not texting. Come on. And what about when you see a cop eating? Okay, let's see. This is fun. Okay, let's see what's it. Oh, this one says, do not attempt this maneuver in your car. It's about eating again. All right. You cannot hunt from your car, dumbass. What are you hunting for? I can't
Rabbits.
stand hunters to begin with.
I'm hunting for rabbits.
Except if you were the type of person that you take a kill, you live someplace where, you're going to eat and make use of the whole animal you kill because it's too tough for you to get to a store. Maybe. One, maybe. But to hunt just for the sake of hunting or putting it on a wall, you should all go to hell. All right, cannot hunt from your car, dumbass. And that's a good title for you, too, dumbass. All right, this one we all know. Not all of you practice it, but you should. It's called ice missile law. Does anybody know what that is?
No.
You know, when you get in after a snowstorm and we got about 6 inches of snow or more, even less, or it could be, 2 inches with ice, and you get in your car and you clean your windows off and all that, and you drive off, and you don't clean the top of your car? Do you know if you're driving down the road and that top comes off and causes an accident, you're liable. If it kills somebody, you're liable. So if you're smart, make sure you clean off the top of your car, because you could be going across the New London Bridge and, By the way, I think they started working on the northbound New London Bridge. So there's going to be a lot of fun with that.
I did. I heard on the scanner that DOT is shutting. They were shutting it down.
Oh, here's a good one. Where'd you go? Nope. This is a place where they should have this. No political campaigning at the town dump in Summers. That's where all the campaigning should be done. Okay, here's one. Only white Christmas lights are allowed in Guilford, Connecticut. Where's Black Lives Matter when you need them? Shouldn't it be allowed to have any kind of colored lights? And people abide by these laws. Amazing. Really amazing. Okay. And, of course, all you farmers out there, don't think you're getting away with anything. You must mock your pigs. Don't ask me how. I don't think if I was a pig, I'd want to be mocked because it includes Brandon, and that's got to friggin' hurt. But you got to mock them. I guess in case they get away, they know who to sue. Okay, that's the fun part. How about that? Okay, moving along at a fast pace. All right, Katie,
Hey,
where were you on your rant?
I just realized something.
What's that?
I'm going to need a bodyguard.
No, you're not. You're not going anywhere. Besides, you got Melissa.
Well, hey, and what's the what's this woke folks thing?
I don't know who started that. Some Democrat started that.
What does that even mean, woke folks?
Woke is, I don't know what the abbreviation's for, but it's meant for the left and everybody that thinks along that left Democratic side of things. They call them wokes. I don't know why. I think half the problem we have in this country is we're giving out too many titles to stuff.
Somebody asked me if I'm a woke folk.
No, it doesn't mean if you're a white folk. It doesn't mean that.
Woke.
Woke means
W-O-K-E.
are you a Democrat? That's who it's aimed at.
No, it says something. It's a racist thing.
Well, yeah, it's calling. From my understanding, somebody please text in and correct me.
I got it.
What?
Alert to injustice in society, especially racism.
Yeah, so that's what it means.
No,
that's
but
what they say it means.
I mean, I was talking privately with somebody in Messenger, and I used certain terminology, and they asked me if I was woke, if I was part of the woke folk movement or something. You know what? You can't say anything nowadays without being accused of being a racist.
Of course.
You can't have an opinion.
Wait a minute. Okay, bodyguard, if you're out there, you might as well get your coat on. You can't say anything racist if you're a white person. If you're anything else, you can say race stuff all you want.
Let me.
There's only certain groups that actually will accuse you of that. There's a lot of groups out there that will not accuse you. They're not offended. They're not thin-skinned. They can take whatever you shove at them, and they'll shove it right back.
Right.
And you take it. But there's certain groups out there that think they're so friggin' special that we can't say anything bad to them. We can't say anything that they might take a certain way. And that's another thing that's got to stop in this country. God damn it, grow some thick skin. Get over it.
Here, this is what I'm seeing.
I'm tired of fucking being accused of shit and being called a racist for something I wasn't even born when it was going on.
Here's the problem. All right? It doesn't matter what religion, what nationality, what color you are. There is good and bad in everybody.
You know, all we see on the news is, and you people got to think about this.
You cut me off.
I know. I can do that.
No,
it's my
this is
show.
important.
I can cut you off.
But what I'm saying is important.
All right, go ahead.
It doesn't matter what color you are, what music you listen to. There's good and bad in everybody. In every race, in every culture, you have good and bad people. I mean, look back in the 50s, the 50s and 60s. Okay, the guys wearing the leather coats. Those guys back in the 50s and 60s were the true racist. They actually hated.
They hated everybody.
They hated. Well, no, they really hated black people.
They would beat you up as quick as they would beat up any black,
Right.
Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Asian. It didn't matter.
But they targeted certain nationalities, and they got away with it. But what I'm saying, me personally, I believe there's good and bad. It doesn't matter what culture, what nationality you are. There's good and bad. And
I think
if you target, if you go to engage a bad person, if you engage a bad person that's another race or culture, you are deemed racist. They could burn down your home. They could burn down your home. They could assault you. They can steal from you. And if you engage legal action against them or physical action, whatever you do, you're a racist son of a bitch. If you engage them socially, knock on their door and say, I don't like what you're doing. If you have a neighbor, what?
I'm listening.
I know, I heard you sigh.
I know I'm sighing.
Yeah. I pay attention to every little noise, I read you like a book.
Well, I'm changing my cover.
If you engage someone outside your race because you don't like what they're doing, and what they're doing is legitimately bad, you are attacked and deemed as a racist.
Phone.
And I'm tired of it. It's probably some. Hello, United FM.
Press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
All these idiots.
Who is it?
Some stupid crap that keeps on calling our line. So, as I was saying, if you're black and you engage someone who's white, no big deal. If you're white and you have any other race that you're trying to engage because they're doing something that is unlawful or against policy or rental rules or whatever, they're blasting music at 12 o'clock at night, if you come knock on the door and say, listen, I'm trying to sleep, can you turn it down, you're a racist.
All right.
Do you get it?
Let's
Back to Dennis.
This is true for some people. It's not true for all. And the way you can tell that is simple. You can't accuse one group of people of being racist without realizing at times you're racist. And whoever started all this racist shit, it's I know it's been around for a long time. We were doing better. And then your buddy Obama got in and it started all over again. That's my personal opinion.
Obama.
If you think about it, okay, this is what I noticed. I don't know if you people notice it or not. Black Americans, even though it seems like you're hearing that they're still being tied down, they're not making it, they're being left out of everything and all that, is really a bunch of crap. There's certain groups that choose to be like that, and there's certain groups that have no control over being like that. But look at the whole picture. Look at the majority of sports people that are out there. Look at the majority of people you're seeing on TV now. Look at the majority of people you're seeing in commercials. Look at the shows that come out where if you see one white person in it, and you're lucky. If you have a all-white show and there's no black people in it, people are going to complain. Look at all the wealthy middle-class people. Look at all the multimillionaires and some billionaires that are black. These people fought. A lot of them fought the same thing some of you are fighting now. But they did hard work. They worked at it. They did what they had to do to get to where they are. And I would think that those folks would do something about helping their own people. Besides everybody else helping them. They should be doing something to help them too. I don't know if they are. I imagine some groups are, but I imagine a lot of them aren't. Because they don't want to get involved in that stuff. They're in their own little world with their money, and that's it. Now, I want to jump to another subject. And
God.
Kmart. Well, you can't talk about the whole thing for the whole friggin' night. It can
It's
be just
Dennis's show.
I know it's Dennis's
Okay,
show, but I have fun.
I want you folks to know, ask yourself, why all of a sudden, when the yo-yo has his press, his State of the Union speech, that all of a sudden COVID's gone away. Don't you find that kind of ironic? That all of a sudden, on this day, which they'll probably make it a holiday, knowing the Democrats, you don't have to wear masks anymore. There's so much stuff you don't have to do anymore because it's over. Biden's claiming that. He solved it. He took care of it. He cured us. Say hallelujah, brother. But it's a lot of side effects that are showing up with all these shots. And I feel sorry for you people that have taken these shots. And I feel even more sorry for you people that have taken the boosters. Here's a headline that says, young people and teenagers are developing rare but very dangerous hyperinflammatory syndrome after the COVID-19 vaccinations. You know, there's young people and there's middle-aged people, a lot of sports figures are dropping dead that were perfectly healthy before they got their shots. You know, I think we were conned. I think a lot of you people were conned. And a lot of you out there are still pretending like it's as bad as it was from day one. You got to get over that. You know, and do not, whatever you do, let them vaccinate your young kids. Oh, thought somebody was calling. So all you folks out there that have been vaccinated and all that, God, I'll pray for you every day that, you know, nothing bad happens. But a lot of people aren't making it or ending up with all kinds of things wrong with them because of these shots. You don't know what was in these shots. There was not enough testing. Maybe we didn't have the time to test, but I still think a lot of this was made up. But that's my own personal opinion. All right. Where was I before earlier? K-Man, where was I?
I don't know. You were listening to me.
I listen to you.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You don't.
All right.
You were talking about downtown New London.
Oh, yes.
I'm talking about...
So back to downtown New London. Supposedly this year, from what the last thing I heard was that there's probably going to be a sale fest.
I hope.
Okay.
Maybe.
Of course, you realize that one of the biggest stages and one of the biggest platforms that we have to go out into the water behind the Custom House will not probably be a place for everybody because they're going to have the restaurant there. And they're probably going to charge you. I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if they charge you to go in there to eat and then go to the special pot up close for the fireworks. Or it'll be all the top-notch people in New London that will get that spot. They used to have a spot like that in other sale fests, if you remember, down the end of the city pier. Not city pier, but what do I want to call it? Anyway, down by the railroad bridge, over by the boat place. Anyway, they used to set up a tent and you'd pay $75, $85 to go in. You have a lobster dinner and drinks and you watch the fireworks. Well, now they're probably going to take over that whole part, which takes away from a lot of people being able to come and enjoy it, which takes a lot away from people from out of town coming and enjoying it. So for 2 years now, maybe it was 3, I think it was at least 2 years, the city would always give like $200,000 to the Sale Fest committee or whoever. For 2 years, they haven't done that. So where's that money? Does anybody know where that money went? Or they're going to try to tell us, no, we didn't do that. We know you did that. Everybody knows you did that. So stop friggin' lying. You did do that. I was in a council meeting one time where the people you gave the money to wanted to give it back to you, and you couldn't take it in that form because you didn't want people to know you gave it to them. The city is not supposed to invest money into that. They already get paid. The group that puts all this stuff on gets paid for that. You know, so I want to know where at least $400,000 went. I also want to know why we cannot have open council meetings. When I know, and I've read at least, where this company that came in from Montville or someplace like that, and they bought the building down by across from the firehouse and that diagnostic center. They bought the building, and they had a meeting at City Hall with some of the public to discuss them buying it and so forth and so on. Well, if they can do that, then why can't we have open meetings? What is it? The Board of Ed in New London has been having open meetings. I don't get it. Norwich has open meetings. Everywhere does. Or is it because the council and the mayor want to get things done without you folks out there knowing about it till it's too late? Till there's nothing you can do about it. Like $30 million for a recreation center. When's the first time you heard about that? You didn't hear anything about it before they even talked about bonding the money. They just went ahead and bonded the money. Don't you think if we had to vote on $168 million, don't you think we should have been able to vote on $30 million? I think so. And you didn't even need an open council to do that. You just put it in the paper, you put it online, you contact as many people as you can, and you tell them this on this certain date, or in the last election even, that yes and no, I'm bonding $30 million for a recreation center. You know what would have happened? It probably would have got shot down. So why don't we just do it, and we'll deal with it when people find out? Is that the kind of leadership you want in your city? It's not the kind I want. You vote for these people to come into office, and you vote for them to treat everybody the same. No matter who they are, no matter what race they are, no matter what gender they are, it doesn't matter. You're there because we voted for you, which means we're your boss. We are the ones that are paying you. Did you ever think about that, folks out there? The mayor, the council, we pay them. It comes out of our pockets. Board of Ed doesn't get paid, and they're not complaining. And then when they did do these raises and stuff, was there a vote on that? No, there wasn't any vote on that. We don't get to vote on anything in this city anymore. They just do whatever they want, and they deal with the repercussions later. And they find a way to bury it under. And, of course, in New London, everything gets forgotten in a short period of time because most people in New London don't give a shit. They just, roll with the punches. That's all they do. And we got to stop that. Or we'll just keep going the way we are. I mean, if you're all comfortable with it, I guess I can kind of live with it. Although I won't stop talking about it. Folks, you wear me out sometimes. Okay. Since nobody wants to text in any ideas they want to talk about, I'll make up some more. Now, back to this virus for a little bit here. Supposedly, almost 1 million people died from this. Can anybody out there, except for maybe the people whose close ones have died, which they claim was from the virus, and maybe it was. I mean, even when we have a flu, people die, and I feel sorry for that. But the point is, if you have almost 1 million people die from it, wouldn't you have seen funerals all over TV? Wouldn't you see, mass whatever? Where are all these bodies? I mean, and then I found out that the virus can live in a dead body for a while. Yeah, it's true. It can live in there. So what do they do with the bodies? What mortician is going to want to touch a body that they claim they can get the virus from? They ain't going to want to touch it. So where are all these bodies? And where are all they're all being buried? And can you go online and find a website that will show you 100 names of people that were buried and where they were buried? You can't tell me that all these people that died, that they decided not to publicize it because, and that they're all happy. I don't mean happy like that. I apologize for that. I meant, the fact that these Pfizer's and other places made this vaccine and they can't be sued if anything goes wrong. Some kind of emergency law where they can't be sued. And you have that many people that die and nobody is bucking that law or coming forward and saying, well, the vaccine killed my loved one. It wasn't a virus. They didn't have the virus when they went in the hospital. They went in the hospital after the vaccine and they died. You don't hear nothing. Doesn't that pique anybody's imagination? I mean, you would think that showing that many people dying would be a really good commercial to get people to get the vaccine even more. But no, you don't see it. Kind of makes you wonder. And when they say hospitals are completely full, well, if they were completely full, nobody else would be able to go to the hospital. And no ambulances would be able to go to the hospital. And they wouldn't be able to have operations. Or they wouldn't be able to save lives. Or if somebody was dying of something that has nothing to do with the virus, they wouldn't be able to help them because they're filled with sick people with the virus. Folks, common sense tells you it doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. Now, I want to tell you a little story because I told you I jump all over the place. This whole thing with the Ukraine.
Ugh.
I know you don't want to hear it, but
No.
I got to say something.
They're targeting like preschools and residential areas. They're killing innocent people. I mean, bombing a TV antenna. What the hell?
These are the stories I'm hearing that you won't going to hear on the evening news. First of all, the Ukrainian soldiers are putting up a wicked resistance, worse than Putin thought was possible. They're kind of lucky that Ukrainians don't have any kind of an air force. Although we have been...
They donated 180 or unconfirmed number of MiG, some MiG aircraft.
Isn't that ironic? Russia getting bombed by their own planes.
Yeah.
But there's a column of Russian trucks, all kinds of different equipment.
40 miles.
40 miles long. Where is the Ukrainian Air Force? Why ain't they bombing that? I don't get it. The big thing right now is everybody's afraid that Putin is going to...
to send a voicemail.
Is going to use nuclear weapons of some kind. I don't think he's that stupid. And I really don't think the people of Russia are going to allow him to do that. I would hope that there's some generals that he has that are on the front lines that are going to say, no, we're not doing that. Because nobody wins. There would be no sense in taking over the Ukraine because it will be polluted and radioactive. So why are you going to go after it? People don't realize what Putin really wants is he wants the gas and all the other minerals that are in the ground, especially the gas. Ukraine has one of the largest gas deposits that I'm being told of anywhere in Europe. That's probably what he's really after, which would be another stranglehold on the rest of Europe. I heard a story where the Ukrainians, they were showing these Russian soldiers that they captured. And a lot of them, from what I hear, are surrendering. Not because they're losing battle, but because, you got to understand, a lot of the people in the Ukraine, they believe that they're Russian. They have no problem with being Russian. They just want their own country. But they're still really tight with the Russian people because a lot of the Russian people are Ukrainian people. It goes back and forth. So this article shows these Russian soldiers that have been captured. What the Ukraine is doing is they're contacting the mothers of these captured Russians and telling them if they want their sons back or their husbands to come get them, and they'll let them go. I've never heard of such a thing. That blew my mind. That alone should show the Russian people that Ukraine has nothing against Russia. That they want peace, that they're willing to give up, even though they know these guys might be forced to go back into battle. They're still doing this. You Russian people out there, screw Putin. I think he's going off the deep end. I think him and Biden are having a competition who can be the most senile senior there is. He is not someone that should be running your country now. He has crushed your money. Your rubles aren't worth nothing.
Yeah.
And pretty soon, you folks are going to be hurting. Those old World War II photos you used to see with the old lady pushing a wheelbarrow full of money to get a loaf of bread? That's going to be you. You have to take your country back from Putin. And you got to do it soon before he does something really stupid. Because once those things start flying, there's going to be more flying. And this time they're going to be coming at you. So I don't know if anybody out there will even hear this. But, I'm hoping some people out there that are in the power to talk to them. Another thing is they saying they're killing communication. Is that right, Kay?
Yeah.
So why-
In Ukraine, amateur radio communications have been shut down.
tell them the story about you with your ham radio.
Oh God, I on my personal let me switch to my camera. Hold on. All right, so on I can't show you what.
Tell them the story.
There's my ham radio hotline phone. Okay, I was searching for Ukraine phone networks that are on ham radio services, and I didn't see any. They all there used to be like a couple, but they disappeared. I saw one in Russia, so I called it. I wanted to confirm that amateur radio services were terminated in Ukraine, so I called this guy in Moscow, Russia. And he's a ham radio operator, and he told me straight out, yes, Ukraine has shut down amateur radio communications. Why?
Ukraine did?
Yeah.
That's not the story.
We're licensed ham radio operators, and they said you can't talk on your radio in Ukraine.
Well, that was probably...
Turn it off.
That's not the story I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about the one where you talked to the guy in the Ukraine.
Oh,
And
yeah,
he was telling you the real reason why Russia is invaded.
No, that was Russia that
my
told
mistake.
me. And he said it was over natural gas. And they don't want NATO in their backyard. Russia does not want NATO in their backyard.
Well, the way I see it, if we put everything along the border on the outside of the Ukraine is the neutral country, and everything past that heading towards Europe is NATO, then they do have NATO in their backyard.
Right.
And while all this is going on, we got to also remember China, because we're being tested by China, and we got a lot more to lose in a conflict with China than we do with Russia. We can, if this idiot that we have for a president can get off his ass and stop listening to these sidekick politicians that are in his party that don't know squat, and open up our oil and our natural gas, we wouldn't have to worry about Russia at all. We could bankrupt them even more than we already are. But China is a whole different story. We are so indebted to China. We need so much stuff that China has that if we went to a war or a Cold War with China, they could probably survive without us. I don't know if we could survive without them.
Every Sony PlayStation would not be able to go online.
Probably a lot more than that.
All my games would be shut down.
And all you poor people that are hooked on TikTok, I feel so sorry for you.
What is wrong with TikTok?
Because you wouldn't be able to see all the shit and garbage they put on there. I'm telling you.
TikTok is awesome. I love it.
It's not awesome. It's friggin' bullshit.
But there's funny shit on. There's legit funny shit on TikTok.
What else is there? There's lots of stuff on TikTok that shouldn't probably be on TikTok. TikTok is a Chinese company. And they're sending all kinds of shit over here and getting people's minds all wrapped around things that aren't important, while they do things that to them are important.
Propaganda.
You know, people think that to be... All right, this is another thing, but people don't think that anybody would be smart enough to attack us because we have the strongest military. Well, they don't have to actually attack us. They can do it from within, with our own people attacking our own people. But if there was ever a case for people that have guns, what's going on in Ukraine is a perfect example.
They're handing them out.
They're handing them out to every person that's staying behind. They're making it so men 18 to 60 cannot leave the country. They have to fight. You have stars, you have athletes, you have people that are somewhat big in that country that are staying. They're all getting guns, and not little pistols, automatic weapons. And that is making it hard for Russia to invade them. Now, do you want to take all our guns away? You want to make it easy for somebody to come in and take us over? Of course, you think that could never happen to us, right? Well, if China decides to stop making chips and sending them to us, and everything else that they send to us, it's going to make it real easy. It's going to crush us. I mean, it's the common sense. Again, common sense. All right. Let's see. We got some more time.
We're already an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, but I'm not done.
Keep on going.
I am. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Oh, here's something. How many of you are into Christian music? I'm an old rocker, and I found some bands that when I heard them, I said to myself, man, these guys are freaking great. And it took me a while, because I'm not a big lyricist kind of guy. I don't really listen to the lyrics that much. It's all about the beat and the beat and the bass to me. But when I started reading the lyrics with some of these groups, I realized that they were Christian rock bands. There's a band out there called White Heart that is tremendous. You would never know it if you didn't listen to the lyrics. And now my newest fascination is with a group called We the Kingdom. If you get a chance to listen to We the Kingdom, trust me, listen to it. They are incredible. I think some of them are related to Johnny Cash, which kind of really blows my mind. But they got a concert coming up in Rhode Island, the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and they're going to be with a band called Casting Clowns and another one called Hillsong Worship. Now, they're not bad, but you really got to go to listen to We the Kingdom. I'm telling you, it will give you goosebumps. All right. So, moving along at a fast pace. So now Connecticut wants to legalize consumer fireworks. Why? I mean, you know, it sounds great for people who like fireworks, but there's downsides to it, and one of them is my dogs and everybody else's dogs out there. When you're blasting these things off all night, into the night, past a normal time, it freaks some dogs out. It makes them crazy. They got to go hide. Is that fair? Wow, you got places you can go to for fireworks. So stop it. All right. All right. Okay, hang in there. Okay, Connecticut rental assistance programs no longer taking applications. Well, we were talking earlier about people that that don't have the means to support themselves, or they're going to lose the place they live, they're going to be homeless. I don't like this idea, but I got to admit, and some of you folks they got to admit, and especially the ones that did this, you went for almost 2 years with getting rent-free, getting extra money, collecting unemployment with an extra $600 on it, and never paid your landlord. Didn't you think that you were going to eventually have to pay them? So instead of owing them a month's rent, you may owe them $20,000, $30,000, or whatever it may be? Is that fair to your landlord, no matter what you think about them? I mean, there's bad and there's good landlords, but there are people out there not paying them anything. And if you're collecting $300 or $400 a week, and you're getting an extra $600, that's way more than you were ever going to make. And you couldn't at least give the $600 to your landlord? Well, for people like that who did that, I don't feel the least bit sorry for you. The ones I feel sorry about are your kids, because you weren't thinking about your kids. You were thinking about your own good times, going out and buying a big-ass TV or whatever like that. Big freaking deal. You got kids. You got to make a home for your kids. You got to make a secure home for your kids and your whole family, whoever it may be. But you didn't want to pay because you thought you were getting something free. What? All right. Are you trying to tell me something, Kay?
No.
All right. So the U.S. Senate introduced Truckers Act to exempt non-U.S. citizens, commercial truck drivers from vaccine mandate. So, if you're a citizen of this country and you're a truck driver, when this came out, it meant that you had to get vaccinated. But if you weren't a citizen and you were in this country, legal or not, I don't know how you could be legal. I mean, if you're not a citizen, but anyways, and you were a truck driver, you didn't have to get vaccinated. You see what I mean about things being fair? Now, if you're a truck driver that has to get vaccinated, and you know someone that's come into this country, however they got in here, and they're driving a truck, taking your job away because they don't have to be vaccinated, and you don't want to be vaccinated, how is that person, that citizen truck driver, supposed to react to the non-citizen truck driver? You think he's going to love him? Think he's going to take him out to dinner? No, I think there's going to be a lot of resentment there. And, of course, somebody will come along and say that truck driver, the one that has legal citizenship in here, is being racist. It's amazing what that word will cover. Don't you people feel stupid? So the Yukon Health Center seeks $50 million bailout from the state, including $20 million for a medical malpractice fund. Why the hell do we want to give hospitals money for malpractice suits? They're the ones that screwed up, and they should pay. You go in there with a child and... Oh, no, I take that back. You go in there with someone that needs their left leg amputated for whatever reason. And after the operation's over, you realize that, oops, we took the wrong leg. So now that person's not supposed to be compensated for your ignorance? No. We shouldn't give them any money. And to bail them out from what? These places make a ton of friggin' money. This is what I mean about common sense, folks. All these stories, I mean, they're ridiculous. But I love reading them. Let's see, bill requiring supermarket to not. Oh, this is a good one. This is a very good one. I don't know if it happens, but it's a good one. Lawmakers are trying to pass a bill requiring supermarkets to donate excess edible food. Have you ever seen how much food some of these places throw away? And it's not really their fault, because right now a lot of insurance companies won't cover it. They're afraid of being sued. That's mainly what it's all about. You'd be surprised how much insurance companies run this country. But I think this is a great idea. And I hope the rest of you do too. I don't know. Does Walmart donate?
No.
It's food? No. I bet Stop and Shop doesn't either. Well, I hope they would, because Stop and Shop's kind of a cool store. I went in there the other day, and I came up to this counter, this cashier, and I noticed this dog behind the register with this young guy. And I'm like, what the hell? So I asked the guy, I said, what's with the dog? He goes, well, it's a therapeutic dog. I guess that's how you say it.
Support animal.
Support animal, thank you. No, that's not Kay. That's his wife. Mm-mm. That's not Kay. And Stop and Shop allows this guy to bring his dog to work with him. To me, that was the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. It almost made me want to go to work there. Because, and I know they just signed a new contract with their union, but still, it shows you there's some good spots among us. We just don't hear enough about it. So, let's see. Cockamamie laws, we did that. The teenagers getting the diseases for properties for sale. Rental assistance gone. U.S. truckers. Health center. Lawmakers. All right, I'm going to go jump into something serious now because it's getting close to the hour. Earlier, K-Man mentioned something about people with the drugs. You've been hearing a lot about overdoses in Connecticut County.
Left and right, and right here in New London.
And there's a few ideas I have on this. First of all, anybody that sells a drug to anybody else and they die from that drug, that person should be held on at least second-degree murder, if not full murder. And they should be penalized to the max, no parole. And I'll tell you why at the end of this story why I think that. Second of all, the people that do these drugs, we should have a program that tells these people, I think we probably already have hundreds of them, but they tell these people, you take these drugs, you take a chance of killing yourself. Okay, that's automatic. So if these people choose to take these drugs and they die, then they die. If they're laying in the street and they just overdosed on fentanyl, knowing fentanyl could kill them, I don't think we should bringing them back. Just say, okay, give them a decent funeral or something. Now, I know I sound really cruel and rotten to a lot of people, and I probably just pissed somebody off. But the thing of it is they know what this stuff can do. And the only way I think you're going to stop it
Press 2.
is by putting fear into these people
I sent the caller to
who are
voicemail.
taking
At
drugs.
any time, you may press star to join the call.
That us?
Oops, your caller just hung up. Goodbye.
Okay.
The caller hung up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, caller. We're still kind of new with the phone thing. I just, it's not so much a question of money, but in another way, it is a question of money, because that money could go to a lot of other things that are more productive. It could go to help people that are homeless, rather than saving these people who insist. So, okay, I'll go a little fairer on this. You get one time. You get one time to be saved. If you mess up and you take something that's an overdose, they'll bring you back one time. And then that goes into some kind of system in the computer. So the second time you do it, that's it. Now, will you have time to check the computer to see if that person should be saved? Well, you got to come up with a system for that. I don't have all the answers. But this is foolishness. This is just enabling people to take drugs and to take stuff that they know is going to kill them for a few seconds of a high because, I did it before and it didn't affect me. Well, it only takes one time. And the person that is selling this stuff, let me tell you, a lot of people out there selling these kind of drugs that will kill people would not be doing it if they knew the punishment was 10 times worse than the drug. I don't think they would do it. Now, maybe some still would, and that would probably be the ones that are doing it, because a true dealer that has any sense in their head at all doesn't do his product. You just don't. You don't make any money that way. But these people who insist on selling this and, not even caring if they kill somebody. These are your sons and daughters, or your father or your mother. And all you people out there don't care that the punishment is minor. It's got to stop. You got to put fear into them. You got to let them know that, we find out you're the one that gave this drug to somebody and they died. It's going to be the same as if you went up and shot them in the back of the head. You're going to pay the price. Now, if you don't like that idea, well, there's nothing I can say to you. But I think a lot of people out there feel the same way. And it's got to stop. You do-gooders, get down there in the streets. Some of you have been. I'll give you that. And you're still good doers. Why, I don't know. But when it happens to somebody in your family, you'll change your mind. But then it's too late. Your family member's dead. All right.
I'm calling that person back.
Who was it?
I don't know. They called us.
Hello.
Hello, you called?
Yeah.
Hi, who are you?
This Keith?
Yes. We're United FM, you're live.
Yeah. So, this is Rich.
How's it going?
Anyhow, this guy's talking about all the drugs down there in New London.
Yep.
He's got to be talking about the drugs that they're wiping people out with, these prescription drugs, brother.
That's true. That is true. And you can get hooked on them real easy. But what do you do when you're in serious pain?
Melissa, pot up the phone patch a little bit.
Well, you take some OxyContin and you call it a day.
Yeah, but it's... I don't know. People have different levels that they can take of pain. Some people can, like, for myself, I had a serious back operation, 5 discs fused together. In the hospital, when I came out of the hospital, I had the OxyContin. I got to where the doctor slowly weaned me off it, which I thank him from the bottom of my heart for doing. But even then, when I stopped, I spent the night of going through the shakes. So we need to have something else to help deal with the pain that's not going to do that to you.
There's no doubt about that.
So what's the answer?
They do have other drugs that'll help you get through the addiction process. It's just that you're not going to like the side effects.
Well, it's one side effect or the other, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to get yourself chopped up because you got an injury at work or you fell off a bridge, then you either take the drug or you suffer the pain.
A lot of these places that you hear about that, these not clinics, but these places you can go to rehab, all these rehab places, do you think they really help?
Well, I don't know. I haven't gone to a rehab.
Well, I didn't mean that. I meant, because it seems like...
what I should tell you is I did have a friend at one time back in New London, back in the day, who invited me to attend one of his AA, AAA, whatever you want to call those meetings. And the way that they handle it is anybody who takes even a single Tylenol is considered a drug addict.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't know what to say about that.
Or if you have a beer on the weekend with your buddy, you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, but isn't being hooked on coffee the same thing?
Hey.
I guess you could say that.
Well, you are. You're hooked to the caffeine.
Yeah, we can't beat up on the coffee now. We all have to have our coffee.
I know. We got to have one.
I love coffee.
That's what I'm saying.
Anything else bothering you tonight, caller?
Oh, I don't have anything bothering me.
Oh yeah, he does. I know this guy. You know what, Dennis? This guy right here, Rich, should be your co-host because he brings up a lot of good, valid points about issues going on in our local community. Why don't you tell Dennis about the water authority and how they had unlicensed plumbers working on people's homes' water systems.
Wait a minute. Rich, before you say anything, would you like to come on the show with me sometime?
Well, we'll set something up for that. Keith and I are in the works.
This is the guy.
All right.
This is the guy that set me up with all that.
Yeah. Good man. You turn him into an attic of radios and computers and stuff.
Well, I'm not going to take credit for that, my friend. I walked in there and saw that studio and was just like, this guy's got nothing better to do with his time.
Well, he is. I got something better to do with it. I mean, it's the stuff he can find out. I know. First time I walked in here, I was like, I didn't know what to say. It's like something out of a movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's like Steven Spielberg's best friend.
Really? Rich, do me a favor. Talk with Keith, and Keith will set up a Wednesday night that's convenient for you. If you want to come on the show, I'd love to have you on.
Yeah, we can definitely set something up.
Oh, that would be excellent. Hey, I want to...
we got some other topics here,
Oh, yeah.
You in a hurry to go grocery shopping? You got a sock drawer to organize?
Well, I got a little bit of time.
Okay. So why don't you talk about what's going on over there in Ukraine?
I did a little bit. You might not have heard it. I was talking about a story.
I had to feed the skunks. The skunks got to eat around here.
Oh, I was telling a story about I saw how a video of the Ukraine, they had a bunch of captured Russians. Some of them they captured, some surrendered. And they were getting hold of their mothers in Russia, telling them if they want their son or husband back to come and get them. And they would give them up.
Yeah, I didn't see it in the same light, but it is a time of war over there, and
I know, but to do something like that, I never heard of anything like that. That's amazing.
Well, yeah, I would say that we live in a whole different world these days. I mean, with the communications that we have, and iPhones all over the place, it's going to make it easier for everybody to communicate.
What do you think?
It could also make it easier for the enemy to kill you.
Well, yeah, that's true. What do you think about the leader of the Ukraine?
I don't. It's hard to say. I don't know enough about the man. I just know that he's some kind of movie star back in the day, and he's got all Hollywood in America supporting him. So,
well, the fact a lot of people, since he's staying in his capital and staying with the country and defending it, a lot of people kind of admire him for that. I think it's pretty great. The ironic part is he used to also be a comedian.
Yes. But, at the same time, you have to look at it, too, as with all politics, we just don't know what the real truth is.
What do you think? Do you think there's anything different we as a country could have done?
Yeah, I think that if they hadn't reversed all of Trump's policies, none of this would have happened.
I
In
agree.
fact, Senator Cruz talked about that today on Now. And Trump had warned, the government that this is what Putin would do. He would establish this gas line and, create it as a diversion so he could actually surround Ukraine and conquer it. So he put many tariffs on Russia, and all of that was reversed when Biden took over the presidency.
So I assume you're a Trump man.
Well, everybody's a Trump man.
That's right. I got my brand new.
I think
Got my brand new Trump hat on.
Well, now that everybody's worried about their kids being sent off to war,
Yeah.
everybody's supporting Trump, but it's a little late for that, isn't it?
I got one more question for you, Keith, because it's getting late for me. What do you think about China? What do you think we should be doing, if anything, to China?
You can't spread yourself too thin.
I know.
China's just watching everything unfold here. I think that the monetary attack on Putin is sending a signal to China where they just might put their tail between their legs and back off a little bit.
Well, they're in a position right now to do that without losing any
Did you
face.
say towel or tail?
Tail.
Tail.
Oh, okay.
All right, Rich. I really thank you for calling, man. It's nice to be talking to somebody.
Rich, I'm sorry when
on
you
the
call.
radio.
We have this this service called No Robocall, and I think
I got that Google voicemail, and it asked me who I was, and I was like, what else do you say to a Google robot?
I'm gonna shut all that down so people can call in.
The next time that happens and they want to know who you are for fun, tell them you're Obama. See what they do.
No, I wasn't going to that level. I told them I was Jesus Christ.
Oh, did that? I guess that. Well, that must have. No, that didn't fly either, did it?
I don't know. It made Keith's phone vibrate in his pants.
Rich, thank you very much, my friend. And
Okay, guys,
please,
we'll keep talking.
please talk with Keith about setting up you coming on the show.
Yeah, you need to join in with Dennis. I think
Yeah.
you two would be an awesome team.
It'll definitely be something. You just need some submarines to ride through those potholes in London.
Yeah. Oh, I should have talked about that. Well, I did talk in the beginning about how we have half of roads. And I got a half a road that's.
Those aren't potholes, brother. Those are periscope holes.
Do you know much about the city and the what I'm trying to think of? The ones that work on the roads and stuff. Who am I thinking? Well, God damn it. Anyways,
You mean the road engineers?
well, not so much them. You know the road coming down Jefferson Avenue where the cemeteries are?
Yeah.
Is that owned by New London or is that a state road? Would you know?
Pretty sure that's a city road.
Well, they need to fix the damn thing.
Well, like Route 1, Route 85, the major throughways, I believe the state is required to maintain
Yeah.
those, but, they're not required to maintain the city roads. I think all of it is pretty much owned by the city.
I know Ocean Avenue is up to a certain point. That's the only one I know.
But look,
of.
New London has had road issues since the beginning of time.
Yeah, well, that's because
This isn't something that's new.
That's because people in this town vote for people who don't know what the hell they're doing or know how to do anything.
Well, I'm not so sure. I think that the city politics has changed an awful lot. I mean, it used to be in the hands of, I think it was probably around 5 prominent families that used to control the city at one time.
Well,
And it was over the last 10 years. Actually, I think since the eminent domain crisis began is when the politics kind of switched from the old school big names that controlled the town.
maybe if it was back to
into
the
more.
maybe if it was back to the old way, they'd probably take a little more pride in their town. I don't know.
No, the old way wasn't any better.
No.
No.
All right, my
New
friend.
London chased all the good people out.
It looks like they're still trying to do that. I don't know what they're searching for. All right, Richard. Thank you, my friend, for calling.
Okay, buddy.
All right, thank you.
Soon.
Bye. All right, folks, that's it for tonight, and I will see you next week. And the gentleman you just heard me talking with somewhere down the road will be coming on the show. Anybody else that, got a gripe in the city or gripe anywhere and want to talk about it, give us a call, and we can maybe set something up and get you on the show. All right, good night, everybody.
Story about a place in Connecticut called Norwich. We all know what Norwich means. That's the place where all the crazy people used to hang out. Well, one time they had a place called the Norwich State Hospital where they kept all the crazy people from all over the world. And they were all stationed there just being crazy as always. And then they headed out north. Here we go. Well, at the time, we had a governor in the state of Connecticut that decided he wanted to save some money. So he decided he was going to close down this hospital and kick all those crazy people to the curb. Well, he did, and they started traveling north. North, towards Norwich. Well, they just kept on moving. We didn't know where they came from. We didn't know where they were going. But they were here all for us. Hey! Crazy people! The crazy people! The crazy people! Oh, yeah! Running out the front door, there was 3 young gentlemen running out the back door. They were the craziest of them all. Well, they were a group called the White Man Down Group, and they were heading down to their local pub to play some really shit-ass kicking music. Because that's usually what they played, and that's what got them stuck in the hospital to begin with. They're playing that funky-ass music. Hey! The crazy people! The crazy people!